Good evening, everybody. We are live. It's Wednesday night, 17th. No Guinness, water only today. This is the last of our interviews on Vets MXDN. Me and Dave King got a total legend on tonight. Can't believe that I'm actually getting to speak to him. Just sent a message, and fortunately Carl's agent, so thank you, or manager should I say, got back to me. So massive thank you to Neil Bramwell for getting back to me and sorting this out. Yeah, pretty amazing, really. There's a list of what this guy's done in his life, so we could go on for days, I expect, talking about it, but we get through as much as we can with the time that Carl's given us for this evening. So hope you enjoyed the night. You know how we sort of start these shows. People that's watched them before, we start with a bit of video to get you revved up, really, and a bit of music. So please share with your friends and enjoy it.
Did it on his own. Foggy takes the checker flag. 25. Kaczynski drops in. Can Fogarty keep him on the line? Yes! Yes! It's going to be Fogarty over the line. Fogarty wins. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Carl Fogarty has done the double, and his wheelie is imminent from the second race winner. Carl Fogarty wheelies over the line.
Evening, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Carl.
Carl Fogarty, MBE. I'm just going to read this out while we're here, Carl. 7 times world champion, FIM legend 2011, World Superbike champion 94, 95, 98, 59 wins, 109 podiums, 3 TT wins, lap record for 7 years. King of the Jungle, can't miss that out. Lap record at the Northwest 200. 2016 World Sports Legend Award at Monaco, 2 World Road World Championships, 1 Endurance World Championship, and yesterday he was married for 30 years, which I think is a brilliant achievement out of all of it.
Fair play.
Thank you. Still all right. Imagine that's the lad from Blackburn.
So, it all started off road for you, though, Carl. It didn't start on the road.
No, I did schoolboy motocross. I guess a lot of guys who went to road racing. Started quite late, really. I had bikes. In fact, I've got my first bike, actually. I ever got, which was a little homemade Honda 50 monkey bike thing, really. obviously a Honda engine in it, like a homemade chassis that was made for a guy called Chris Martin. His dad had a Honda dealership in Blackburn called Ken Martin Honda, and he outgrew the bike, and I got it, I think, for my 10th birthday. My dad bought it second hand. So that was the first bike. So I always had bikes from 10 years old onwards, but I didn't start racing schoolboy motocross till I was like 15, which I don't really know why, if I'm honest. Yeah, so quite late, I guess, in compared to the guys today is what I'm trying to say, I suppose. But yeah, I did the schoolboy motocross for 2 years, and then just probably half a season, well, not even half a season. I did the MCA championships in '83. It will be from sort of I don't know, April time to May, June, and then that was it really. Once I was 18 in the July, I went to road racing. So I'm guessing back then you couldn't go road racing until you was 18. I'm not too sure actually, but otherwise I think I probably would have gone earlier. But yeah, I did motocross and wasn't ever going to be world champion at motocross. I think I knew that from a very early age, and but it was always the road racing for me was a passion, and being brought up around it with my father. My dad used to race the TT and all the circuits around the UK. So for me, I always wanted to go to the Tarmac and be road race sort of world champion. Really, I believe I would be from a very, very young age. But the motocross is good. I've always loved motocross. I always said still do it now, even though my body doesn't really want to do it now. But I still do it. I think I enjoy doing it. Go all right ish on the circuit. I kind of on the track I go to. Which is Winstanley MX at Wigan. It's kind of like probably the only circuit my body will let me kind of go around now quite comfortably. Really, it's a bit of an old school kind of track, fairly easy really. Kind of ski ramp type jumps, nothing, no silly big whoops or triple jumps or anything like that. And it's anti-clockwise, which is good for me because I like left-hand corners, so I'm all right now. I can hold my own and go pretty quick, But I went down last year. Obviously, I only went down once last year with the COVID thing and whatnot, and I must admit I struggled. It was the hottest day of the year. I think it's about the 26th of June or something. And man, did I struggle! It was so hard.
So, what bike? When you were doing that AMCA championship in '83, what bike did you have?
I got a new Honda at the start of that season, a CR125 Honda, local dealer again in Preston, Bill Heads, but. My heart was never really in it, to be honest. At schoolboy level, I won a few races. I look back now and I'm annoyed with myself really because when I went road racing, that very first race I ever did, I really wanted to win it badly. I kept thinking I'm going to win this, which I never had that same attitude with motocross. Maybe I just knew I wasn't good enough, or my heart was never in it really. I didn't have that motivation, that ruthlessness, that aggression, and that I had as soon as I went to road racing, So. Maybe I just believed, I knew deep down it wasn't what I was going to do, what I wanted to. I wasn't good enough to do, really, that some of like I said, I won a few club events. I finished second in the championship in the, would have been Newton Willows Club Championship, I think it was. And I think I was second in the Vale Rosendale Championship in about '82. I actually got to the semi-finals, the schoolboy kind of semi-finals and that, but that was a massive wake-up call. I saw how fast them boys were, I was just... Yeah. No one near the front at all. So, but yeah, I always loved doing it. I always admired the guys. I think because I wasn't very good at it in my own standards that I set myself. I wasn't very good at it. Some people might say, oh, "Yeah, you were all right," but I wasn't. So the guys who are good at that, I really do admire them. I really enjoy watching and following the sport because I know how hard it is to be dominant at that kind of. At motocross because it was a million miles away from me. I think I remember Kevin Swan saying something similar to what I've said. Really, he saw somebody. I can't remember the name of the guy now, but whoever he was in America, he just said, "There's no way I can ride one of these things that fast. There's just no way. I'm going to road racing Tarmac." And that was it really. Yeah. And I guess in some ways I was the same. Yeah.
So were you into it enough back then? Did you know like the Grand Prix guys were of the day?
Yeah. I used to follow it, and I'm a big fan of Graham Noyce. When I was a kid, obviously I met him as well. I was quite kind of shy, kind of teenager, about 13, something like that. I was probably, it would have been about 13 in '79. My dad was racing with the TT, and obviously, and all the top motocross guys used to come over for a big motocross on Douglas Head there. So I used to go and watch them, and Graham was staying in the same hotel as us. at the Empress Hotel in Douglas. So I met him there. He had a little finger like beside my mouth, stood next to him, sort of dead shy, in the bar area, the Empress Hotel. But I followed the guys. Obviously, Dave as well. Dave Thorpe, met him quite a lot over the years. Yeah.
Did it help you, the off-road stuff, when you went into road racing, Cole?
If I'm honest, I don't think it does. I don't think it did. I think there might be a lot of people who disagree with that. I don't know. I don't know really. I didn't do a lot of it when I was road racing, which is strange really. If I remember now back to the first part of my road racing career, in the middle, but even towards the end, I kept thinking, even when I look back, I think, God, he didn't really do much motocrossing at all, really. I started doing a bit in the last year or two, 98, 99, as it turned out, really, well, in 2000 when it all ended. But I didn't do a lot. I think if it's going to help you, it's probably bike fitness would probably help you when you've had a long winter break off from road racing. So I wish I'd have done it and should have done it more, really. But I don't know if it helps you become a world champion at road racing. I don't think it does. I think it's a good fitness kind of sport, I guess, somewhat similar in some ways, and certainly bike control, that kind of thing, especially racing bikes in the wet weather, being fast on a motocross bike in mud and stuff like that, or any conditions, that bike control. So it maybe does to some people. I got to be honest and think, no, I don't think it did. I just enjoyed doing it, that was it really. But I didn't do it as much. I'll do it more now, or I've done it more in the last 10 years, last 15 years than I've ever done it. Yeah. The last year or two I've slowed down a little bit. Like I said, my body's not too happy about me doing it now. A bit of knee trouble and ankle and that, so it does take its toll a bit, little motocross on them kind of joints really. But I still love it really, and still love following the guys. I've been watching and following the US Supercross series as well. It's kicked off obviously in January, so it's great. I love it.
I do remember back in, I think it was 2007. I was at a twin shock race up at Ribchester, and you were there. I think you were there on a modern bike, weren't you?
I was, yeah. I was in. That's right. Yeah, it's the last ever race I did on a motocross bike. That was. Yeah. I think it was 07 or 6 or 07.
Yeah, it was a 252 stroke. I think it was
250 Yamaha 4-stroke in the.
Oh, 4-stroke was it? Okay, yeah. But you did quite well, I think.
Yeah, I got the second overall, which is. Yeah. I led one of the races for quite a bit. I was like, I wasn't fit enough as well. It was only a 15-minute race. I was blowing out my ass after like.
Is that where you live up that? Up that?
Yeah. I actually look out my window here. Well, not now because it's dark, but I can see the track pretty much. I see the farm where the race was. I don't think. Well, there hasn't been one there last year, obviously, maybe because of the COVID thing. But yeah. It's that kind of track that probably suits me. Again, bit of an old farm track, really. Nothing too technical involved in it, really. But I can't believe you at that.
I was there. Yeah. So did you used to go and watch the motocross Grand Prix at Farley?
Yeah, I was at the 82 Grand Prix. I can't remember. Won it? I might be. I don't know if it was Dave.
No, Brad Lackey and Dave Thorpe tied on points, but Brad won it on an overall time.
Right. Yeah, I was there. I remember going down with my mate. He just passed his driving test. I don't think I hadn't passed my test at that point. I only just turned 17 in 82, so he drove. It's a hell of a way down himself, about 5 o'clock in the morning.
No, absolutely.
And trying to get a spot to see the race was difficult. There's so many people there.
Because if you remember, that was the year that Brad and Andre Vromans were going for it for the title. The two of them, there was only a few points in it. They were both on the 500 Suzukis, and it was a huge event. I don't know. There was probably 60,000 people there.
Yeah, it was massive. I remember it being very hot as well. It was so hot. Yeah, it was great. Great.
What do you think, like the two-wheel, any sort of motorsport, Carl, these days? Because you were like a phenomenon in the sport. You must hold the attendance record at Brands Hatch when you were in it. They obviously weren't just coming for the road race, and they were coming to see Carl Fogarty.
Yeah, it was huge. Brands Hatch was always the big one, really. I get with it being near London or whatever. I don't know why, but it just had this kind of atmosphere. I mean, it's an old school circuit, a little bit dangerous, and probably that's why it's not on the calendar now, really. But the way it is for the spectators to get so close, you're almost like in a in like an arena in a bowl, really, because if you just stand at turn 1 at Brands Hatch, you're looking down at, turn 1, like I said, you can see 2, 3, you can see like 6 or 7 corners. It's almost like you're in a stadium where the race is being held, even though it's not. But it has that feel to it where the crowd are right on top of you. Not a lot of runoff, but yeah, the crowds are massive and massive. And it peaked out, I think, in 99 when about 125,000 on that race day, which was just crazy. It was the hottest day of the year, I think, in England, one of them anyway. They run out of water, I think, as well. It was just chaotic. I think people were there for 2 days trying to get out. It was just unbelievable. I never said anything like it. And I had the worst results of the whole year for me as well. It was just a disaster, to be honest. I couldn't wait to get out of there. But yeah, them days were special at Brands Hatch, and if you could win in front of your home fans, which I did a few times. I did more at Donington. Donington suited me as a rider a lot better than Brands did, but the atmosphere at Brands was unbelievable. But yeah, the last time I was there, at 99, was a massive crowd. I qualified on pole as well, pole position, but I kind of knew when it comes to race day, we hadn't really done our homework, or I hadn't done my homework and worked really hard on the Friday and Saturday to find the right rear tyre, because finding the right rear tyre back in my day then was so hard. It really was. If I did all my hard work and all my homework and got it right on the Friday and Saturday, Sunday would be quite comfortable, quite easy, in my opinion, But if I didn't do all my homework on Friday and Saturday, then I would have to fight and struggle on Sunday. And on that day, I did do. Tyre blew out. In fact, about maybe lap 10, 12, something like that. It blew out the tyre. I got the wrong one. Came in. There was a calamity of a pit stop, and the stand broke. And by the time I got back out there, I think I finished 19th. So it was a disaster. And then for the second race, he said, you cannot run the 17-inch anymore. It's getting too hot. And I was, because I was a world champion at the time, and Mitchell had tried everything with me to find a 17-inch tyre that would, suit me, my corner speed style, that lean angle, mid-corner grip sort of thing I was looking for, And they just said, there's no way we could let you run for safety reasons a 17-inch, so we had to go to 16.5. And I never liked it at all. I could never really get on with it. And that was the case, really. I rode with a 16.5-inch rear tyre. I just couldn't get that side grip. It would stay the same the whole race, 16.5, but like very little grip for me on full lean mid-corner, So I had to ride really, really hard and just adjust my style a little bit just to get like a 4th place, as it turned out, And I came away from there thinking I let everybody down. That's how I felt back then, if I didn't win the race, especially my home race. But I guess, we went on to win the championship, and that was great. But to have the worst race of the year and it be there, the results-wise for me, I didn't take that well at all, no.
Before we got to that, you said you came second in that motocross meeting. Were you still cheesed off for coming second? Because obviously over the years, your mentality to get where you've got, you want to win everything. And I would imagine you still haven't changed.
But also a bit realistic as well. I was at my depth there, and I got a second. I think I had a second, a third, and a fourth. I got a second overall. So
I got a feeling Mark Sylvester won it, didn't he?
Yeah, Mark won it. Yeah, he was on he's on obviously similar to me. He's on a 2-stroke. He was 250 yam, new one. But yeah, no, I was really happy because I just did it. I just entered. I hadn't been racing motocross bike since 1983. So to do one in 2007, just down the road, yeah, it went really, really well, to be fair. And I was looking forward to getting a trophy. You know what I mean? I've not had a trophy for motocross for years. I didn't get one. I got 35 quid in an envelope instead. I kept the envelope somewhere. I couldn't find it. Looking for it last year, I couldn't find it. But I kept the envelope. It said, "Yeah,
you get flat bits of plastic now."
35 quid, he said. So I didn't get a trophy really, but that was a hot day. I remember, a really hot day that was as well down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've not ridden a motocross race since?
No.
Even because I remember about 10 years ago, I used to see you sometimes at the British Championship, because you were. I don't know what your involvement was at the time, but when Austin was doing the CCM team with Dave Thorpe, you would often turn up.
Yeah, like I say, I love the motocross and watch it and go to races when I can. When there's a race on somewhere near here, sometimes maybe the British Championship round at Preston Docks, I'll go. Yeah, went down to Hawkstone. I think it was last year or the year before. Was it last year? Maybe no, must have been 2019. I went to those in that would be 08, 09 when Austin with the CCM boys won the team with Sordy. He was one of the guys.
Tom Church. Jason Dugan.
I mean, I think he finished second in the championship that year, Stephen. Probably should have won it, really. The bike was really good, the CCM. That was the Yamaha engine, kind of honeycomb chassis kind of bike. I see him every time we go to CCM. It's the top of the stairs as you go into the offices. The bikes are there, yeah. So.
Is it? No way.
Cool bikes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just bring a couple of pictures of you up, actually, Carl. You've obviously got a good style because you look.
That style.
Yeah, it's great style by the looks of it to me.
That's at my house. That is. That's in the front field. That one. Yeah.
So, I don't know whether this is true, but did you enter the NEC Supercross as well in 1992 or something? There was a load of road racers.
Yeah, it was before 92.
It was 89.
It was 89. Yeah.
Yeah, I went there to watch.
I'm not sure I entered it. I don't think I entered it, or maybe I'd planned to, and I don't know. Something happened, but I was down there because I remember watching it. It was just carnage everywhere. The road race guys. I can't remember the name of the guy now. There's some guy. He just went mental on obviously on the motocross bike and going over the jumps. And he was getting away with it. And he had a full face helmet on as well. It just made it look even funnier. But it was just out of control. Everyone. He wasn't even that good at road racing. I can't remember his name. He just somehow entered it, and because I think I remember watching him there when he races the American Ricky Johnson turned up, and must have been I can't remember. I mean, it might have been the Supercross event. It must have been the Supercross that was on, and then I don't know how. Maybe in the lunch the break they let some road racers go out, which was probably not really.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong, like I said, but. Yeah, I remember watching it. That's all I remember. I don't know if I entered it or not. I definitely didn't do it. I've been to a few of the rounds in the winter. The indoor Supercross that's indoor one. Yeah, I've been to that a few times. Yeah, enjoy it.
So when you finished got into the road racing car, was it straight on to like the 252 strokes? Was it?
Yeah, that's the kind of first bike I had, really. That was my first season on a 250 TZ250 Yamaha. Just obviously, like everybody, starts at the bottom of the club races. Your local ones at Aintree, Alton Park, then obviously further afield, Doningtons and Cadwells and Mallory Park. So, yeah, I started going pretty quick, fairly quickly, really, fairly soon. Started winning a few club races, and then. Did the same again the year after, really, and got a national license as well. But the biggest thing for me then, for any rider then starting, was a championship called the Marlborough Clubman's Championship, really. And I won I won a couple of rounds of that. I didn't win the championship at the end of the year, but final race of the year. In fact, I just saw it as well the other day. Funnily enough, someone pointed it out to me because Murray Walker.
Yeah, was that the one where you all rode the 350 LCs?
I wasn't in that class. That would have been one of the classes that day.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in my class was same sort of bike, really. Yamaha TZ250s, you know. Well, the only guy that wasn't, the guy that won championship was Darren Dixon on a Honda, not a factory Honda, but almost like a Freddie Spencer replica Honda, really nice bike, fast bike, but the last round was televised. It was like a big thing, for us then, and I won it, and it was on BBC, Grandstand, everything, and I won on the last corner. Went around the outside of Darren because I say the Honda was a bit fast on Silverstone circuit, which is a really fast circuit, and won the race. I was absolutely thrilled to bits. Just it was like the biggest in my second year of racing to win that. That was like a big thing, Couldn't wait to get home. We obviously recorded it.
Absolutely.
And played it because this is what we were on about with the Murray. Murray Walker the other day that his commentating was brilliant, really, but. As it started, it was like, George Fogarty's to the lead. I'm like, and my bottom lip. I just gone. I was like so excited to watch this. And he's calling me George Fogarty for the first 3 laps. And my mum was going, "Oh, they think it's your dad." I'm going, "I don't think it's my fucking dad." I was so angry. You know what I mean? So excited to watch this. I won this race, and then somebody's obviously given Murray a nudge and said, look, it's George's son, Carl Fogarty, it's Carl Fogarty's son sort of thing. He's an apprentice motor mechanic from Blackburn, blah, 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 ex-schoolboy motocross racer. And that was it. That was all right. But it was a typical kind of Murray story, which I get lots of, sports that motorsports guys would have with him. His blunders and stuff, it just made him famous, really. It was just his enthusiasm for it was incredible. But yeah, he was calling me George at first 3 laps. I was like, my mum's like, I'm like, I didn't find it funny at all. I was fucking bouncing.
Are you into your old bikes at all, Carl? Stuff that you've had in the past, or do
I'm not so much into my old stuff, really. I'm more into my dad's stuff. You know what I mean? I like the back to the 2-strokes again. TZ 750s, like the bikes I was brought up with as a kid, TT and that, seeing all these top guys, my dad, like RG 500 Suzukis and the TZ 750s, and I'm more interested in them. I love to, I know a few guys who've got them kind of bikes, I mean, they're going for some crazy money these days, they really are, but I don't think there's any bargains to be found anymore, but if anybody wants Shutter one.
But I'm guessing you've still got some of your championship bikes, have you?
I haven't got anything, to be honest, anymore. No, the bike I only had the one anyway. 98, the World Championship winning bike, which was in the house for the best part of 20 years, really. 15 years, yeah. That's gone to Germany now, to like a museum over in Germany and to like Dusseldorf area. So, but I'm not that bothered. It doesn't really bother me. I just see it every day at the bottom of the stairs, or did do. There's always something like starting to leak oil out of it and brake fluid coming out. And all it does is remind me of what I can't do anymore. So I just wanted to get rid of the bloody thing,
No, fair play.
But I've got bikes, obviously, off-road bikes. And there's a Ducati Panigale, the Foggy one, the #1 edition. That's in the garage. I've got my first ever bike, like I said before, a little monkey bike. The last ever scooter paddock scooter from Ducati days, from 2000. But no, I'm not really that bothered, to be honest. But just recently, last year or two, I'm more interested in the old stuff that my dad had and the stuff from the 70s, and early 80s, like 2-strokes, 750s and 500s, which should be really nice to get one of them and do it my dad's colours or something from the TT. That'd be nice, actually. Maybe one day.
How did you cope? We often ask this for the top motocross guys, but how did you cope when your career in road racing came to an end? How did you adapt to not being that road racer anymore?
I didn't mind it too much at the start. I think I was I've almost in some ways I was glad it was all over. It had become so big, the whole thing, not just my name or the sport, everything. It was just crazy, and I didn't really have anybody looking after me. I didn't have a manager at that time, funnily enough. And the pressure I put on myself to win again, sort of thing, and the expectation from the media and the crowd was just, it was unbelievable, really. It was really, really hard. So it was almost a relief. It was all over in a lot of respects, a lot of ways. And I didn't miss it at all. I remember the day I announced my retirement, I was at home and it's going across the TV, sort of info bar on Sky Sports News, and the fax machines going like mad and whatnot. It was just, to me, I'm like, what's all the fuss about? I didn't realize, I guess, how big the whole thing had become, my name and the sport and anything. I just thought I'm just ordinary guy from Blackburn who just could ride a bike a bit faster than some other guys in the world at a certain time in his life. And that was it to me, really. I didn't realize what I created, to be honest. It's only now you look back and think, oh my God, they did that, But I didn't miss it at all. I guess, and then until a couple of years went by and did the Petronas thing, I thought, I want to enjoy it then. So I thought, I don't want to be here anymore. I think the race, it had kicked in then. I thought, the rawness of being there and not being the main guy and that guy going out winning races and world championships, I wasn't enjoying that at all, if I'm honest. So I had a couple of years it was a bit, I didn't really want to follow it and watch it or be involved, really. And but now I'm totally opposite again. I think you've got to go through that rough patch, a rough period, and just hope you got good people around you, which I had, to get through that. Especially a good mate of mine who was down accountant, obviously died in 2010. I spent 2 or 3 years with him, really, watching him die, and just his attitude to life and stuff. And he used to say to me, "What are you whinging and moaning about? You should be out there celebrating what you did and who you are, not trying to forget who you are and what you did," sort of thing. And it wasn't until he said that and made me think, "Oh yeah, it's crazy what we're doing." And I got back involved and started doing a bit of TV stuff, and And now I can't wait for the season to start. So I think I love watching it and following the Brits and that, you know. But there's a couple of years when I didn't really want anything to do with it at all, really.
Did your dad have, at the start of your career, did your dad sort of teach you a lot in the road racing game, Carl? Did he give you a lot of tips, or did you listen to him, or did you say, you know, like it's like you tell your kids off, they don't listen to you, yet somebody else tells them off and they listen to them.
Yeah, I think I was like that. I didn't listen to what he said really, but he did. I think he knew he was wasting his time anyway, so he didn't really. He did not really. You know, he kind of let me get on with it. To be honest, he'd only go mad if I crashed. You know what I mean? I'd be bollocking if I was leading a race by a mile and fell off. Like he wouldn't be happy then, but I wouldn't be happy at that. You know, so it was. I don't know. It was funny really because I remember my first ever go on a road race bike at a road race track was at Oldham Park on a practice day. And now I'm just used to riding motocross bikes. And I went out on a road bike and I felt okay on the road bike because it's nice bars and stuff, you know. And my dad was on his F2 Ducati following me. And his story goes, he said, because it was wet as well as raining, and he says, your lines are that bad. He tried to come past or something. I must have been going all right. He's trying to come past it, and he's lost the front end and slid off. Trying to get past me to tell me I'm doing it all wrong, and he's sliding down the road. So I don't know this. I've no idea about this at all. And then the next thing is I've come in, but he's then to Oldham Park. You can cut across the track. Obviously, he's picked the bike back up, not a mark on him, got it going. So instead of trying to catch me all the way up, he's round turn 2. I think it's called Cascade. So you can cut across there as I'm coming down the back straight. So as he's cut across to catch up again, he's fell off again. So this is him teaching me how to road race. And I think after that, he thought, you know, I'll waste my time. I can't even catch him, tell him he's going wrong. So I'll leave him to it. So I came in. He's having the right go at me. I said, what's up? He said, well, I fell off twice. I'm trying to bloody tell you, you're doing it all wrong. So what can I be doing that, man? I didn't fall off. You did. He went, stop fucking. I can't repeat what he was saying, but it was hilarious. My mate was like hiding behind the trail laughing his head off. You know, so. But yeah, he was always been, you know, my biggest fan, and he still is today, to be honest. He still walked. If I see him, I saw him last week. He's still got a Carl Fogarty t-shirt on, World Champion 1995 and stuff like that, you know. Brilliant.
Fair play.
Because
obviously your dad wasn't a slouch around the TT course either, you know, to come second. You know.
Yeah, he was pretty good, my dad, to be honest. He couldn't really afford decent bikes at all. He had nothing. He always had somebody else's cast-offs, and he was really working. He was a workaholic, my dad. Work. And then by the time he got to, I reckon about, must have been 33, something like that, his business started doing really well. His haulage storage business, we were doing okay, making some decent money. He bought 2 new bikes, finally got some brand new bikes in 77 to do the British Championship. And he bought Barry Sheen's old bike. Sorry, so one of them was an old one. Barry Sheen's old 750 Suzuki Triple it was. Fantastic bike that was. And he bought the brand new RG 500, which is kind of the first year people were buying these bikes in 77. And he had some great results on that. He was running second in the British Championships as he crashed at the final round and fractured his skull. But he had a great year that year. That was probably his best year, really, doing the TT for his second, as you say. Yeah, just good results. He had some bad luck as well, but then again, he had some good luck because he's still here. Because he crashed a lot at the TT. It's unbelievable how much he crashed at the TT. You don't often crash there and live to tell the tale. And for him to crash pretty much every year he went and not really have a mark, especially when he crashed at the bottom of Bray Hill, not have a mark on him. Well, a few marks, scratches, and bruises, and things like that. But yeah, to walk away from that kind of things.
You just mentioned Barry Sheen there, Carl. Did he have any influence on your career?
No, not at all, really. No, not at all. I remember meeting him as a kid, and obviously, yeah, he was the famous name. Everybody knew Barry Sheen. But no, he was, even when I remember being at the British Grand Prix as a kid, I was just a massive Kenny Roberts fan.
Really, okay.
All about Kenny Roberts for me. And the Americans I don't know what it was, because I used to go to watch the Max races at Oldham Park, and the crowds are massive. And the Yanks had come over, and they had these really cool sounding names like Gene Romero and Dave Aldana.
Yeah.
Like big fancy numbers on the bikes and the Kenny Roberts and that. And for me, that was it. I don't know what it was, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. I was the same with the motocross stuff. You know, if there was an American there, I was in the paddock. I'd want to see him, get their autograph, everything.
Yeah, strange, isn't it? So, So not really. Obviously, he was a famous guy and that world champion. But I mean, I was just obsessed with Kenny Roberts. My first leathers that I had made to road racing, they were just a copy of his leathers from '82 in '83. You know, yeah, he was my hero sort of thing. Yeah, definitely.
Talking of I've got a little clip of Bray Hill. I'm just going to play it an onboard camera because there's most probably some people that are watching tonight that might not even know about the Isle of Man. I've been there a couple of times myself. It's just an amazing place. It's a great experience if you ever get the chance to go there. It's just like a magical place. We all know how dangerous it is, but you know, no one's forced to swing their leg over the bikes, are they? But
exactly.
I'm just going to play this and ask you a question afterwards, just to give the people an idea. My question was going to be, what goes through your mind when you're at the start at TT? You know, you don't get a sighting lap. It's just like bang straight into it. What goes through your mind? How do you keep calm, or are you nervous, or what? It's just amazing. I've watched quite a lot on Bray Hill, and it's it's just like unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm probably calmer at the TT, probably more than anywhere else. To be honest, it's a little bit different, you know. What I definitely, compared to like a mass start, a world championship event like at Brands Hatch, I'm nervous. Everybody's. I'm proper nervous, you know. I'm nervous at the TT. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad. I'm a little bit calmer at the TT because I'm setting off on my own. I'm on my own. It's down to me. You're almost racing against the clock in a way, you know. You might not see somebody on the road for. At times, you know, I might not see them for 5-10 minutes. So I might not see anybody. You know, depends on where you're starting from and how the race goes. But yeah, I'm nervous, apprehensive like anything, but a lot less than it will be a high-profile short circuit race, definitely. Yeah.
So it's just like I say, it's just I'm trying to sort of work out how a mind works to just go snap at a finger and you're just that. It's like sort of 175 mile an hour down Bray Hill, and it's
I mean,
to get up to speed.
You start the race, you know. It's funny, that's the hardest part of the circuit for me as well. That was always the hardest, most scariest part. It's the first bit, and it's also a part you never really hit that hard or that flat out in practice because you're always just setting off. It's the first thing you hit, nice and steady down there first time, you know, cold tires, whatever. It's the same when you start the race, really, a little bit. You're not absolutely flying down there like you're on the start of the second lap or the third lap, you know. But for me, that was always coming towards that section, coming through the start and finish at the end of lap one, you know, absolutely on the knocker, like fifth gear, I think it was. And then you come into the crossroads, and it was just a pull on the bars there. If it didn't pull on the bars, the back could just go to lock, to lock, to lock. It was horrendous. Pull on the bars and down and just to the right, middle. I can't even remember now because it's like a long time ago. But just hitting all the apexes right. Once you hit that bottom, you've got to take a bit of a breath. Then and it's up in the air. Then it's you know, a fast section and down towards Court Bridge where you're trying to find your braking point. And it's kind of almost like being on a roller coaster ride. Really, you just hold your breath as you hit that top of St. Ninian's Crossroads and fight with this thing and get it in the bottom, you know, up against the right hand side curb at the bottom of the hill, out over Lagos Leap, just and then out, get it off the brakes, get it into Quarter Bridge, get it out, and then go, whew, you know, start breathing again. You know what I mean? There's a couple of sections where you kind of hold your breath and just go for it, you know. And that one, for me, if there's one point, you know, top of Bagaro is the same. You just got to be, you know, just concentrate really, really hard because if you get it wrong, there's a few places a lot of places on the circuit where you can just go a little bit wide, but places like Bray Hill and Bagara, because that just if you got that wrong, you've gone. You know what I mean? And just concentrating on hitting the bottom again. Once you come out, keeping the bike under control and take a deep breath. You know, there's a few places where you just take a deep breath and hang on, and you know that's it. Once you're through that section, breathe again.
Do you ever get out on a track on a bike now? You know, on a road race track. I'm not talking about racing, but you know.
No, I don't really. No, I really don't. And funny enough, my injuries stop me from doing that most of the time. It's funny, I can go out on a motocross bike and and ride and be okay-ish, you know, on like a track like Winstanley's and that. But you put me on a super bike or, well, even a super sport bike, and I go around Donington, and that cramped position you're in on them kind of bikes, when you've had the leg injuries I've had, especially mainly my right leg, I'm in so much pain almost straight away because my legs won't go back far enough to get my toes in the footrest and ride and enjoy going through the corners. So I'll do the parade lap sometimes, or I do them, and it's hard to enjoy them, and because you start trying to get into it and start remembering things and start remembering what to do. But I mean, so much bloody pain with my knee and my leg not being able to bend that far back. I've got so much seat pad on to compensate for that, which most X-racers have, I guess, that I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying it at all. I'm in pain going round at the sport that made me famous, sort of thing, and what I love to do, but I just don't do it. The only time I do the odd parade lap thing at TT, it's a bit different at TT because you're not scratching around it like you are on the short circuit. You know, not that I'm scratching around now, but you can be a lot more comfortable on the bike at the TT. Really, it doesn't really matter. It's you're not leaning over and scratching like I said, like you're on a short circuit. So I don't really do it at all, really. It's a shame because a lot of the guys I know, like my friends James Whittam and that, they do track days and things, and you know, I've been along to one or two of them like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm just starting to get into it and remember how I go fast again, and like a circuit like Anglesey or something, really enjoying it. But all the time I'm like, oh, you need the pain, you know what I mean? And you just end up stopping after going out once or twice, 5 laps, another 5 laps, and I mean that much pain then for the next third session that I'm thinking, you know what, let's just forget it. I'm in agony. I'm in a lot of pain. It's not fun, so I just don't do it really. Whereas on a motocross bike, you've got a lot more room. I can stand up and whatever, so it's okay really. As daft as it sounds, normally it's the other way around. You know, we injuries and stuff.
Out of all your wins, Carl, obviously, was that your finest? Like not your finest hour, but when you broke the lap record in '92, you know the bike was falling to bits, and you couldn't wait to get off it, so you just went faster and faster.
Probably not the wisest thing I've ever done around there, to be honest. But I guess it's up there. You know, it really is up there to hold a lap record, to be the fastest ever guy around there for 7 years. In fact, I was the fastest guy around there all the years I wasn't doing it. It was bizarre. All the years I'm racing on short circuits and becoming a short circuit world champion, which is, you know, is what I dreamed of doing and wanted to achieve. It's only recently, the last year or two, someone said, yeah, all those years you were, you know, Britain's #1 rider winning the world championship on short circuit. You were still the fastest guy in the TT, even though you hadn't been there in that 7-year period where you still held that record, which is very rare. And it's, you know, it's really nice to look back on that and know that one time in your life you was the fastest guy around there, which is, it's special because of the nature of the place and how dangerous the place is, you know. So it's up there, you know, with, you know, winning, I don't know, races at Brands Hatch or whatever, Le Mans 24 hours, and you know, Donington Parks and Astons, them kind of things, and world championships, you know, in Australia, that kind of stuff. It's it's been some great, really big highlights.
Well, we're talking about that lap record. It was 123.6, I think it was. I just got a little bit of a promo video that I'd done because I know you're one of these sort of people that can't sit still. You have to keep doing stuff because you get bored. So I just play this so that people can see what else you're doing in your life, Carl.
So what do you do now, Carl?
Oh God, I'm involved with CCM as you mentioned before. Involved with bike insurance, like an ambassador kind of roles, really, I suppose. These days, you've got to deal with the watch. You just show the watch, the watches a Foggy watch coming out at the end of this month, actually, end of March. My mind's gone blank. Yeah, LS2 helmets that's got like an ambassador role with them. Just stuff, really. I always seem to be busy. A lot of this kind of thing at the moment. Obviously, this virtual kind of world we seem to live in at the moment. And instead of getting out there and doing real shows and real events, and seem to be doing a lot of this kind of thing, But at the same time, I'm meant to be retired and enjoy myself, but I've not really been anywhere for a while, so it's frustrating. So I'm outside doing jobs around the house at the moment. Doing a bit of power washing tomorrow, doing cleaning patio and that, bit of fencing. But I'm good at knocking stuff down and burning and setting fires. I'm good at burning. I like having fires a lot. I do a lot of fire.
I know the feeling. Yeah, this time of year is a good time for it.
Yeah. The sun came out. It's looking like spring's pretty much on its way now. So I put some smile back on my face a little bit. I must admit, I am somebody that struggle with the winters. I usually get out of here in January and go somewhere nice and warm for 10 days or something. And I want to be in the sun doing stuff in the sea or kayaking, a bit of fishing or whatever, and not being able to go away this year, this January. I was like, I mean, for a lot of people, it's been a lot of,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and even for me, I must admit, I don't mind admitting, I had a few wobbles a bit in the first few weeks of January. I just couldn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. You can see it a little bit now, can't you? Really?
I totally get that. Yeah, I know we haven't got you for very long, but you got to talk about your second career, the jungle. How did that thing come about?
Well, just got a phone call from ITV. Really, they approached me. They did actually years ago. I'm guessing it might have been about 2003, somewhere like that. And obviously, I didn't do it, so it crossed my mind. I didn't want to do it then, and it's funny. My wife's going, "Oh, you should do it. You should have done it." And then when it came around again, she was opposite. She said, "Don't do it. Everybody will hate you. You'll be right. You'll come across horrible." I went, and you know what? I just thought it took. I don't know why, for whatever reason, but ITV almost wouldn't take no for an answer. Really, I don't know whether they thought they were going to get the guy who raced bikes, who was this, I don't know, self-obsessed, obnoxious, ignorant, just determined, just winner, who just hated everybody sort of thing. Or I didn't realize, kind of pretending to, I guess. But I don't know. But they flew me down to London, meetings with them, everything went well. And they even come to my house to assure my wife everything be fine, you'll be well looked after in Versace hotel and whatnot, and the kids, they can come. It was a funny one, really, because I said, yes, all right, I'm going to do it. I said, this is me. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm doing it. I want to see if I can chat. I want to see if I can cope. 3 things I went in for. See if I could cope with the boredom, the food situation, because I hate being hungry. Absolutely hate being hungry. Other people, because I don't really like other people. I don't like it's not really me, that kind of thing. So I thought, I want to see if I can do these 3 things. And I'm almost having this battle with myself saying, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, I can. I'll show you, sort of thing. So I went in for that. I didn't tell Michaela. I said yes, ITV. Tell them yes, I'll do it. I didn't tell her, and she found out, and she wasn't happy at all. She didn't speak to me for about 2 months. It was great.
Is it? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it afterwards, especially as you're a winner. But is it what we see on the TV?
Well, it's very real. Yeah, I can't believe how many people actually question that it might not be. It's like,
well, I don't know. You hear stories, don't you? That at night you're nipping off to the hotel and somebody sends you a load of sandwiches and.
It'd be a long nip to the hotel. It's about an hour's flight to it. No, it's very real. Honestly, it's even for me. I knew it was going to be real. It was going to be very hard. But even stuff like water, I thought, well, at least water will be on tap and everything. But it wasn't really. You had to boil the bloody water before you could drink it. And it's like 35 degrees heat. You're drinking cooling down water that's been it's boiled over the fire in like a plastic army container. It's just like. Even drinking the water wasn't nice, So it's designed to break you a little bit and cause friction and whatnot. And the food you get is like it's nothing. I lost just over a stone. I'm slim anyway. I can't. If I don't eat food all day long, I lose weight. And that's my big concern going in there. To be fair, I'm a very nervous person, as you can probably tell. Always active and moving around, and always need to keep eating food. So, but yeah, what an amazing adventure that was. I went in thinking, what, I don't care, this is it. I'll probably be the first one out, and that's what I thought. I thought I would be the first one out. I really did. But before the whole way, on like the biggest TV show in the United Kingdom, you know, and come out the winner of that just through public vote because they like what they see in there. Just an ordinary, down to earth lad from Blackburn, and that was it, really. I think that's what come across, which I think shocked a lot of people, even in my sport, because he thought, hang on, he wasn't like that when he was racing. He was a horrible bastard. He was, you know, and that was, I had to be horrible to win, to be world champion. You don't get nice guys who are world champions, well, apart from Rossi, I suppose, but very rarely. But yeah, that was it. It was just unbelievable. It really, really was. I still can't believe I've done it and won, like you said, the King of the Jungle. It's the coolest title I've ever had, that, really.
Did you find out a lot about yourself, Carl, more than you knew doing it?
I think I did a bit, to be honest. I coped really well with the things I thought I would really struggle with. I think the food situation, you almost go past being hungry, to be honest. And the heat was unbelievable. And I could feel myself in there, making sure everybody else was all right. I did a lot in there, mate. I was keeping the fire going. I was boiling the water. I was getting the wood. I was helping with the cooking. I was really wanting to, I mean, it's a tough place in there. It's not easy. It's not. And for the girls, I think it's even hard. So I was kind of looking, I found myself this nice person. I don't know where it came from, looking after everybody, make sure everybody's all right, you know, and I love doing the challenges and throwing myself into whatever, you know. It's just, it was incredible. It really was.
Yeah. I know it was, you know, it must have been great for you to win, but I think it was a brilliant win for motorcycling, really, because, you know, anybody that ever ridden a bike and knew you, I think, wanted you to win straight away. I certainly did.
Well, yeah, I just, you know what, it never entered my head. I mean, it was always out of my hands. When I'm doing something that's in my hands, really, like racing a bike, then I want to win. If I'm playing snooker or pool or whatever, I want to win, you know what I mean? But with that, I just thought, I want to get to vote off without walking. I said to my manager, I'm probably going to walk out this, you know. He's going, please don't. I said, look, if I'm in there with a bunch of people I can't stand, I'll kick it. I'm going to cope with it. So luckily for me, I got a really good bunch, to be honest. I really did. They all got really well. I mean, I remember watching it the year after. I don't really watch it much, to be honest. I haven't watched it for quite a few years now. I haven't done it for real. I don't watch it again. But I watched it the year after because I had to go out there and present the next King of Queens sort of thing. And when I watched it the year after, I thought, oh my God, I think you'd just seen a different me in there. There's a woman in there called, what's she called, Lady C or something? Lady C.
Yes.
Eubank was in there, and Duncan Bannatyne, the businessman.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my! If I'd have been in there this year, I'd have ended up throwing her in the fire. She'd have gone straight in the fire. Honestly, I couldn't believe how bad they were. So I think all the stars just aligned for me that particular year. It really did, and they got a good bunch of guys, and yeah, amazing still to think they won it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you get a lot of spin-off work from that?
Yeah, and I guess I'm still being offered it. Really, I mean, I'm not that interested. The TV thing doesn't really bother me. Really, I'm not interested. I've been asked to do them all now since then. Dancing on Ice, Strictly Come Dancing, Celebrity MasterChef. I've been asked to do a lot of them. I'm like, no. I thought about one of them. Which one? The cooking one. And I said, look, let me watch a few of the programs, and I'll let you know. And I watched it. And I thought, I've got no chance on this.
You should do. You should do. So
I can't cook anyway. And to have these two big dicks behind me going, your presentation is up wrong. That's one way that play of food. I mean, great TV, but I just can't stand being told what to do. Like, I mean, someone said the presentation's all wrong with your food. I said, I can't do that. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. The biggest one, the one I always thought, you know, which they got asked, like say 15, 16 years ago, was a jungle. I thought that I love being outdoors anyway. And that's a challenge, that see if I can cope with, you know, that around that campfires, keep sleeping. It was a beautiful place as well. When I mean, there's a lot of bugs and snakes and shit all over the place, you know, and you got to watch yourself most of the time. A few snakes come wandering past, you're not sure if they're poisonous ones or what, you know. But you're sleeping there under the stars, and you think, oh, this is absolutely amazing. Cut off from the outside world. No phones, no laptops, anything. It was just brilliant. Yeah, love that.
Yeah, fair play. I know you said you've been down to Farley before to watch the Grand Prix. I know you won't ride a motocross bike, or you wouldn't want to race it, but if ever you're free when we do the VMXDN, we generally run second week in September. I'd love to get you down just to do the Legends lap. One lap on a bike of your choice.
I'll do it. Is it? Can you make sure it's anti-clockwise and take all them big jumps out? Or come down?
Hang on. Which way is it, Adam?
It's anti-clockwise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. So left. I'm all right on left. I'm all right. I'd love to come down, actually, guys. I really would do a lap round there. It'd be great. Yeah.
What would be your bike of choice that you'd want to do? Obviously, it's not a racing lap, but if you had any choice of any bike to do that on.
Yeah, probably a two-stroke, an old two-stroke from early 80s, something like that. Because 250, 125, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll sort that for you. No problem.
Oh, cool.
But we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch.
Nice one, mate. Appreciate that.
Right. Well, we've been on an hour. God, that went quick. Thank you so much for your time, Carl.
Welcome. Enjoyed it.
Before we go, I will bring this picture up for people because we didn't get round to bringing it up. The bike that you're involved with, the CCM, beautiful bike, the Foggy edition. If people want to check it out on CCM's website,
I read. I think they're sold out, aren't they? I watched them the other day where the whole. They don't make that many anyway, but they're all pre-ordered.
Yeah, the original Spitfire that they all sold out. I think the Bobber, I think they've all gone. There's a few of mine left. I know there's about 40, maybe. I'm not sure how many left, to be honest. I think there's 300 of mine. You can either have that version, like a flat FT flat track version, or an S version, which is more of a cafe racer style kind of position, But they've gone really well. They're just a fun little bike to ride around country roads around town. They're great fun, really.
Yeah, I know you see them everywhere. Well, not I've seen a couple down. I live down in Bournemouth. I've seen a couple around town down here.
Oh, cool.
Well, like I say, Carl, for me, it's been an honour and a privilege to speak to you, and thank you so much for coming on. And like I say, if you could thank Neil Bramwell, for sorting this out. It's been amazing for me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Carl.
Very much so. Cheers, guys.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Amazing.
Well, amazing. What a guy.
What fantastic.
There you go, people. Oh, I forgot to say, well, Carl was on. Kiki D was watching as well tonight. So she pinged up on my phone that's in front of me up here. So
no way.
Hi Kiki D. Don't go break. You can come and do the music at VetsMXDN.
How do you know her through your
just through the music thing? Yeah. Just with friends on Facebook, I've done some sound for her and stuff. But yeah,
fair play.
But yeah, all you people.
What an interesting guy.
Yeah, all the people that tuned in, thank you very much, and yeah, great.
I can't believe this is the last one.
Yeah, this is the last one.
I've only just got my backdrop sorted.
Well, I don't know about you, Dave, but I thought, we've all been stuck indoors over winter. The clocks are changing in a couple of weeks. So I expect people are not going to be wanting to sit in front of their screens.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We're all a bit screened out. I know I am. I don't know about yourself. I've cleared my garage up and moved the stuff from side to side the last 6 months. Yeah, but everything cool for VetsMXDN as far as we know.
Oh, you ask Boris.
Yeah. Who knows? But
he's the only man that knows. So at the moment, it's all systems go. But who knows? I don't.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I don't think anybody knows, do they?
No. All I can say is whatever happens, there will definitely be an event at Farley on our scheduled date. We will use that date for an event. I can't say whether it will be the actual VMXDN or something. If restrictions are still around, then obviously we're not going to be able to run the VMXDN as we know it, but we will run something on those 2 days. Obviously a vintage, not anything else.
I'd just like to apologise for people that I tried to put some comments up on the screen, but when you're in it, it's quite hard to concentrate to do comments, videos, pictures, etc. So I do apologise, but we had loads of nice comments, Dave, while we were online. So yeah, that's it. So people, but anyway, everybody that's watching, obviously go on to the VetsMXDN page, which is at the top right hand corner, and like it, and then you'll hear what's going on. And most probably before the Farley meeting, we'd most probably do a special show
Oh, I know what I was going to say. I should have brought it with me. But did you hear that Todd DeHoop, the American rider, got hurt badly?
Yeah.
Okay, so he gave me his helmet. I think it was the last time he was with us in 2017. I've got all the photos for it. He gave it to me as a gift. He now needs money, more than anything. So I want to sell that helmet and give him the money. If there's anybody out there that thinks they can auction it or raffle it for me, I haven't got the knowledge of how to do it. But if somebody wants to do that and then pass the money on to Todd, I'd be more than happy to pass the helmet on to them to let them sort it out for me.
I'm sure, like you say, Dave, we can do a little live video on here or something, and you can show them the helmet, and then I expect we could do some sort of thing on here. Do you
think so?
I think we could manage it to do it on.
Okay. Well, I'll dig it out. It's a signed helmet. It was his. I've got the photo of him, passing it over. So it's a cool piece of memorabilia. It was in, I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't need it that much. And I can see he needs money more than I need, his crash helmet.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe we'll sort something out maybe next week sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, Dave, it's been a pleasure doing these interviews with you.
And you, Adam, thank you very much for sorting. You've been the man behind it. You've been the man who's mastered the technology behind it.
Yeah,
and to be fair, the other people that are doing interviews have got a lot to thank you for, because you've sorted them out as well with the technology. I know.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's good for the sport. The more we can get it out there, our sport that we love, motocross or any motorsport, I love it all really, is a good thing. So yeah, great. I'm sort of in shock still. It's like after doing a gig when you
obviously know a lot more about road racing than I do. I obviously I know who Carl is, and but I don't know all those finer details about him like you did.
Yeah, I just sort of learned the stuff, and it's a long time ago now, and you think it's 20 years ago his last championship.
I know.
30 years ago.
1990 was 30 years ago. It seems like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
I was 17. I forgot to say that. I wrote it down as well. Carl never passed his bike license till he was 28. He was riding for Ducati or something. I wanted him to do a.
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember something about that. Yeah, didn't he have to do some promo stuff?
Yeah, that's it, some promo stuff, and he couldn't. He said, "I haven't got a bike license." World champion.
Oh dear. Okay.
Cheers, Dave. I'm going to end it how we started.
All right, Adam.
On that video. All the best. Thanks a lot. And
yeah, thank you.
See you soon. Cheers.
I'll pack my backdrop away now for another year.
No, we need.
I'll keep it for next week.
5 months or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure something could pop up. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Bye. Like I say, I just thought we'd end on how we started. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching, and really hope you enjoyed it. Keep an eye out for what's going on. All the best.
But look at Keegan, right on his shoulder. Applying the power now. Carl will be trying to get on it early. Oh, yes, he did. I told you, he needed to get on it early to get in front of Keegan. Foggy. But Foggy's on the brake. Foggy's going to hold it on the brake, I'm sure. Yes. Well done, Carl. You're not there. Carl Fogarty, though. Wow, he's a brave man. He was boosting around. Look at that. Really goes around the outside of Fogarty there. It's down to the last man. We're on to the danger now. Just the braking point. This is going to be dramatic. Fogarty on the brakes. Underneath Keeley. Soon. Oh, he's down. Keeley goes down. He didn't deserve that. But it wasn't a push from Foggy. He did it on his own. Foggy takes the checkered flag. 25. Gadzinski drops